Whenever we think of scientists, farmers, or shepherds protecting our environment, we often picture men. But the reality is quite different. Hello and welcome. I am Sadhika Tiwari and you're watching Eco India. Across the world, women have often done the quiet, hidden, silent work of protecting our planet and have been the backbone of many ecological movements. Today, we meet those whose resilience and vision are reshaping our food systems and protecting our planet, often despite many odds. For centuries, women have done most of the work in agriculture, but seldom do they make key choices or financial decisions. But when they do make these choices, they turn out to be a lot better at times. Studies show that when women have access to education and resources, they often adopt more sustainable practices, from conserving seeds to rotating crops and saving water. In Uttar Pradesh, we meet women who are yet another example of the same.
This goods transporter in North India's Unnao district is carrying unlikely cargo, a group of students rushing to be on time for school. The Good Harvest School teaches an unconventional syllabus, and students don't just cram information from books. I have been here ever since I heard about the school. It's the first school I have been to. My favorite subjects are agriculture and computers. Unlike regular schools, the classrooms are often empty. The students spend much of their day out in the fields getting their hands dirty. Today, they're learning about seeds and how they interact with the seasons. Which seeds can be planted before and after the rains. Teacher Ashita Nath helps a group of 12-year-olds to use online resources to learn about the differences. Girls here of all ages are planting the seeds of their future hopes.
When we talk of dreams, girls don't have dreams, and that is because they have not seen someone, achieve much in life. So they would do household chores, get married at an early age. And I think due to that, they think that even if they dare to dream, nothing much can happen. So that's what we are trying to do, that let them explore.
In a country with some of the lowest rates of female participation in formal jobs, women in villages still do much of the agricultural work. And yet, they rarely own the land or get any share in the profits from farming.
In rural communities like Unnao, women are deeply engaged in agriculture work. They are the one who is doing all the agriculture works, but they like sowing, weeding, harvesting crops, and managing livestock. Yet they are mostly seen as a helpers and not as a farmers, which they deserve.
For Unnao's girls to go from just laborers to farmers with their own ideas, education is key. But even girls who go to school tend to drop out before reaching higher education.
If we compare boys and girls education, boys have the access to better education, and the literacy level for boys is around 70%.
The Good Harvest School seeks to address this imbalance because better educated girls would mean greater acceptance for ideas like sustainable farming.
तो जब हम sustainability की बात करते हैं,
Niharika and her classmates are learning about the importance of sustainable farming methods, both in theory and with practical experiments. Armed with the latest information, they could become the first link in a new value chain driven by women. Take the humble peanut, for example. For Unnao resident Pooja Nishad, it's provided a way to break out of domestic life and pursue her ambitions. At first, my husband didn't want me to go out to work. He was worried that others would accuse him of living off his wife's earnings. I told him that these days, both husbands and wives work. People do different kinds of work, like desk jobs or factory labor. Finally, he agreed to let me work. She's part of a women's self-help group who are all employees of a company called Nati Village. They process locally grown peanuts into higher value products for the market. By working higher in the agricultural value chain, They move beyond the limits of their own farm. Time flies when I'm here. It feels good. I have a sense of determination, a sense that I can do it. Before I started working, I felt fearful. But once I began, that fear disappeared. Now I feel confident that I can accomplish it. Going out and interacting with people gave me confidence so that now wherever I go, I don't hesitate to talk to anyone or to do my work. Back at the school, students are learning to grow better crops for workers like Pooja Nishad to process. Sudden excitement announces the discovery of earthworms they know will benefit the soil. We had classes in English, Hindi, math, social studies, and sustainability. We also recently learned about how to preserve traditional seed varieties. The school now has a small seed bank which stores native seed varieties for each sowing season. In this way, they are also playing a role in preserving local agricultural knowledge of well-adapted crop species. Once back home, Niharika helps her father prepare the day's milk deliveries from their family farm. He's among the fathers who are beginning to see the importance of helping their daughters get a better education. I pray she studies well. We haven't been able to do much to progress to a better life. I pray that she does something good in the future. The knowledge that Niharika and her classmates are gaining in school is also filtering out to neighboring farmers in Unnao. Farms that for decades have always grown the same commercially lucrative crop are beginning to take a new approach.
We've also noticed that because we had a kind of a model farm where we grew multiple crops, farmers around have also started doing that. Whereas earlier when we had come here, we found that they were into monocropping.
This school is helping nurture a new generation of farmers who don't see their work as a burden, but as a path towards change and a more sustainable way of farming.
As we saw, who decides matters as much as what is sown. Across villages, women are quietly working with seeds and soil and water, and yet finance and policy treat them as invisible. In Tamil Nadu, Dalit women are reclaiming farms and fields not just to grow food, but to earn, to build dignity, and to claim spaces that have been long denied to them. Their collective strength is challenging traditional dominance and bringing real change.
On most farms in South India's Tamil Nadu state, a woman behind the wheel of a tractor is a rare sight. Rarer still, one from the historically oppressed Dalit caste. Here, a group of women from the landless caste is challenging society to transform their lives. While the dominant caste worked the fields, we Dalits felt the empty land was ours, so we've farmed it. Every seed they sow is a part of a self-organized initiative. In the beginning, it was frightening. I went door to door sharing the idea. I trusted in our sisterhood. Some agreed to work, others refused. Still, I kept going. Converting wasteland is back-breaking work, and earnings come only after harvest. For communities of people who normally earn daily wages, taking that risk wasn't easy. There are 80 women in total. We send them out to work together in groups of 10. If there's grass or weed, we take them out. We share whatever work there's to do. The first green shoots have since turned into a harvest, but the women want to keep growing their movement. On the oppressor's land, workers harvested mangoes for a pittance while being insulted and mistreated. Sometimes children were even beaten for picking mangoes. Now I have mangoes in my own garden. We no longer need to go there. Dalit villages were always left without proper water supply, sanitation, healthcare, and education. but that's changed. In our Pallur village, all the essential services, the bank, ration shop, library, are in dominant caste areas. In the Dalit colony, there's nothing. No temples, no childcare, not even water tanks. If we are equal, shouldn't we have the same? Caste discrimination and slavery hasn't ended. It's just hidden, but it still exists. As the women build a sustainable village with its own growing economic heart, adjusting to an oppressive society isn't the only goal. They hope to do away with the whole structure that keeps them systematically excluded from society's resources. Caste annihilation is the goal, but while working towards that goal, they must gain financial freedom and assets. That will bring them dignity and respect. The women experience less domestic violence. Their growth should be social, economical, and political. These women are taking the steps that can open a path to a better future for their villages and others like them all over Tamil Nadu.
Sheep aren't just livestock. They're landscape engineers who preserve habitats. But for women shepherds, this path has never been simple or easy, with prejudice and tradition always standing against them. And yet in Italy, women like Gabriella broke through. And today she's inspiring a whole new generation at a shepherd school in Tuscany. These services are ecologically and culturally invaluable. And these younger women shepherds are ensuring that their hard work doesn't go unpaid or underappreciated.
At first, it wasn't easy for the herdsmen to accept that a woman wanted to learn this profession.
15 years ago, Gabriella Michelozzi changed her life and became a shepherdess. Back then, she was a pioneer in Italy. Before that, she'd lost her job at a call centre. She and other striking workers occupied the company's premises for 6 months, to no avail. By the end, they were living from homegrown food like her grandparents once farmed. That marked a turning point for her.
My sister and I said to ourselves, if our grandparents could live a dignified life on a farm with a few animals, then we should also be able to make something edible out of the earth and a few hens. So that's how our adventures in agriculture began.
She started by bringing her family's farm, an hour's drive from Florence, back to life. The fields were overgrown. It was hard work. With a herder, Gabriella Michelozzi exchanged her first 5 goats for a few large bottles of wine. Then, as her herd grew, she traded 40 goats for 20 sheep. Still, at first, her male colleagues weren't eager to pass on any valuable tips.
These men couldn't believe that I actually wanted to work as a shepherd. I asked them if there was anyone who could teach me this profession or could help me. But no one wanted to. Only after a few years did that change. Today, I'm known all over as Gabriella, the shepherdess.
Meanwhile, more and more Italian women want to follow in her footsteps. To make it easier for the next generation, a shepherd school opened 3 years ago in Tuscany. Caterina Blasi has just enrolled there. It was founded by the Foresti Casentinesi National Park.
What I like about this work is that I can live far removed from civilization, which is growing ever more hectic. I can just sit under a tree and watch the sheep or dogs and really get back to nature. I've always believed that you need to do what you love without fear of being judged by others.
Caterina is 30. She studied wildlife sciences and has long been tracking the return of wolves and their growing population's effect on sheep herds in Europe. During this time, she's gotten to know and love the shepherd's life. Currently, 6 women and 2 men are training to be shepherds here. Over the coming months, they'll study biology, grazing management, animal husbandry, and agri-business management. The students have the support of the Foresti Casentinesi National Park's president, Claudia Mazzoli.
You're setting off on a path that is very important to us, because being a shepherd means safeguarding our landscape, our habitat that's at risk of disappearing.
She stresses that creating jobs for young people here is just as vital.
A generational change is very important for us because the mountain villages of the Apennines are suffering from strong out-migration and the population is aging. That makes us fear for the future.
On the shepherd school's schedule today, cheese making.
This here is fresh sheep's milk, to which we've added cultures. To make this kind of cheese, it's good to use a little room that's kept at a constant temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, because the milk stands here, which is now curdling, as well as the freshly made cheese.
The school ensures that its graduates learn the skills they'll need to live from their dream job. Experienced shepherdess Gabriella also has some good advice for the new recruits.
If you're prepared to love the land and the animals, and don't see living such a life as making a sacrifice, on the contrary, it makes you happy, then this is the right profession for you.
Gabriella will soon have lots of budding shepherds and shepherdesses by her side. Unlike those men when she was starting out, she's happy to help these young people learn the ropes.
Growing food is becoming increasingly difficult as the weather gets more and more unpredictable. But in Argentina, some women are trying to tackle yet another challenge: food wastage. Women like Tomasa Chavez are not just growing food, but also rescuing it, turning waste into meals and survival into dignity. They are tackling unemployment and hunger at the same time. But can such work keep pace with a deepening economic crisis?
The Central Market in Buenos Aires, one of the largest of its kind in South America. Almost a third of Argentina's fresh produce passes through these warehouses and is distributed to stores and restaurants across the country. But much of it goes to waste, considered unsellable even if still edible. In Argentina's unstable economy, rising costs and unemployment have driven people to search in the scraps for food. Tomasa Chavez is one of them. But what she once did out of desperation, she now does for a job.
I didn't have a job before. I used to come here to the market and search for food. I collected it and I sold what I found. I did it out of need.
Tomasa now works for the program to reduce waste, which rescues food and lifts people from poverty.
I spent 35 years like that, searching for food. I was unemployed. And then I got this job, and I take care to keep it. I always come early.
Every day, the 64-year-old sorts edible produce from real rubbish, though she hates to throw anything away.
I don't like it very much. It's a pity to throw it away. I feel sorry because a lot of people need it. Many people come to collect food like I did before. I used to collect too. It has changed me a lot because I'm happy here. I have formal employment, thank God. I've been here for 4 years and I haven't missed a single day.
The food rescue program was launched by a group of Central Market workers during the COVID-19 pandemic, motivated by the level of waste and growing social need. Fabian Reynoldi is an agronomist who used to work in the markets administration and now runs the program.
The main objective of integrated waste management through this program is to recover voluntary donations from vendors that are still fit for human consumption and have nutritional value, to be reprocessed, prepared, and delivered as donations to community kitchens. The organic waste that's not fit for human consumption is turned into compost to transform it into a resource.
The program is paid for by the central market, but it's not just about charity. There are economic benefits from reducing waste.
Obviously, there's a reduction in the logistical costs that the market has to pay. By sending less to the waste management company, you pay less. You pay a lower final disposal fee.
For Fabian, just as important as recovering food is restoring dignity for the program's workers, many of whom used to live from the market's scraps.
Some of them have been able to complete their houses. Some now have Social Security and can get better medical attention. They recover their human dignity, and now they have the possibility to develop professionally and personally.
Every day, the program diverts around 2,500 kilograms of edible produce from the dumpsters. The team sorts it into bags, ready to give to the needy.
Today we have pears, pumpkin, squash, carrots, eggplant and parsley. Each bag weighs 8 kilos.
People come from across Buenos Aires to collect food bags. Poverty levels have soared under the government of Libertarian President Javier Milei, who cut subsidies and price controls for many basic goods and services after taking office in late 2023. Retirees are among the worst affected.
Yes, a lot. There are many people from the Pensioners Club who come here. That's why I come here too. The current situation in Argentina is not good. We have to economize on food, on everything, to buy some medicine.
President Milei says his harsh austerity measures are necessary to correct decades of economic mismanagement.
Nothing changes, nothing. On the contrary, things are a bit worse than before. There were more things before. Now there are many community kitchens. Many things have closed. That's how it is.
Later in the day, vehicles come to collect bulk produce from more than 300 community kitchens, which provide free food for tens of thousands of people across the city. The program can't save everything. Only about 45% of what it receives is fit to feed people. Much of the rest is used to feed plants. Rejected organic waste is turned into compost. It's used to grow more produce and can eventually be sold.
By treating waste here internally at the central market, we reduce the amount of waste sent to landfill sites. That way we're reducing our carbon footprint, reducing the effect of greenhouse gases, and obviously we're taking care of the environment a little more.
The program still has room to grow. It only receives about 6.5% of the market's total waste. Fabian hopes to expand within the market and beyond. Already, other municipalities in Argentina and Uruguay are replicating the program. Despite their efforts, many people still come to forage in the rubbish, even children. The program can't help all those in need or eliminate all waste, but in Argentina, it has become a symbol of hope in hard times.
That's all for today's episode. As we saw, wherever women take the lead, whether it's in the fields or in the pastures, things often turn for the better. It's a reminder that real change often comes from the ground up. Are you seeing any such change around you? Do let us know. We'd love to hear about it. And be sure to follow us on our Instagram at DW_environment for more such stories.
Our oceans are turning bluer and greener, and it's not a good thing. According to a new study, these little guys might be to blame. phytoplankton. They're teeny tiny ocean organisms that contain chlorophyll, which is green. So more plankton means greener water. And when there's less of it, the water turns blue. Around the poles where sea ice has retreated and water temperatures have warmed, scientists found that phytoplankton has been thriving over the last 20 years, making oceans appear greener. In these tropical regions, the water has also gotten warmer, but there are fewer nutrients here. So the plankton bails, and the oceans turn blue. The problem in these blue areas, phytoplankton is the base of the food chain. So when there's less of it, fish don't have as much to eat. Finally, phytoplankton helps trap CO2. So we better keep these little guys alive.
I will see you next week with more such stories. Until then, take care, goodbye, namaskar.